double wall espresso? This is the great beginner machine question. So today I'm gonna put that to the test and I'm gonna do a blind taste test. I'm gonna use the same coffee, the same mugs, and 2 different baskets. And I'll see whether or not I like the beginner espresso or the hardcore stuff. For those of you who don't know, a double-walled or pressurized espresso basket means that there is one screen with a whole bunch of little holes, followed by one pinhole where all the espresso comes out. The coffee has to go through one small aperture, and that gives it a lot more pressure. That gives you the carbon dioxide inside the drink that gives it that creamy mouthfeel, and it means that if you screw up your grind settings, you don't have to worry too much about how fast or slow it's going to come out because the pressurized basket does that for you. Single-walled baskets are just a metal basket with a whole bunch of little pinholes in them. You have to be very precise with your grind, you have to be very precise with your tamping, so that it all comes out evenly. There's lots more opportunity for mess. It's a lot more work. It's beautiful, and allegedly, it makes better coffee, but that's why I'm testing this. We're gonna see. I'm gonna use the same technique that I always use, the same portafilter, just with 2 different baskets. 17.3 grams of coffee. I will use a twist tie to break up any clumps in the grounds. I will use a distributor tool to make sure that the coffee is evenly distributed. And then I will use a calibrated tamper to make sure that I'm using the same pressure for both. The only difference between these espressos will be the baskets. So I've made myself 2 espressos. One's a single wall and one's a double wall. They're marked in the bottom. I'm now gonna leave the room. The lovely Leah is gonna switch them around, not tell me where it is, and I'm gonna come back and taste them blind. So here we go. So I'm not looking at the cup, just in the peripheral. The texture on this one is a little better. Maybe not. Hard to say. I'm just gonna pause here in the video and say that a shocking number of people watching my videos are not subscribed. So if you're finding this helpful or interesting so far, I would really appreciate it if you did hit that subscribe button and maybe even a like, because that helps me a lot. If not, that's okay. Hopefully I will earn your subscribe at a different time. They both got nice flavors. The texture on both of them is good, although I think actually on second sip, I think I prefer this one more. It's not quite the same somehow. It's weird. So I think I like this one better. And my guess is this is the double wall, but it was. This is a single wall. Okay, so what conclusions can we draw from this? Well, they're pretty similar. And honestly, if you don't want to spend the extra money on a single wall basket and a fancy new portafilter, you can just get the single wall baskets, by the way. But if you're gonna get a single wall basket, you might as well get a naked portafilter too. And really, for 40 or 50 bucks, I think this whole setup, this is a single walled basket. It was on Amazon, and it's a wood handle, and I really like it. This unscrews so you can oil the wood if you want and let it dry by itself, but if you don't want to spend the extra money, they're fairly close. The reason that I bought this in the first place is that people were commenting on my videos and saying your next step is the single walled basket. And I held off for a really long time and I did it, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. It's really interesting how the streams all come together in one. The flavor, there's definitely a difference, but it's subtle. And it's more about the aftertaste and the last thing that you taste. I would say the texture between the dual wall and the single wall is similar in some ways, but the flavor is just a little bit more nuanced with the single walled basket, which is what everybody told me it was gonna be like. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Thank you very much. I hope this helps you in your beginner espresso journey. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments because I answer every single one of them, and I'd love to hear from you. If you have thoughts on the single wall versus double wall basket, I would love to hear those too. Have you done a taste test? What did you think? What kind of coffee did you use? Was there a huge difference? Was there a time difference? I did notice that the single walled basket actually took just slightly longer than the dual walled basket, which is not what I expected. I thought it was going to be the reverse, but If you have any other thoughts, please let me know in the comments. If you have any questions or ideas for other videos, for tests that I could do, please leave them there. And until next time, find yourself a local coffee roaster and do some coffee experiments, because you can't go wrong. See ya. That fridge is super annoying. I think we might have the loudest fridge I've ever heard.
Oh, really?
It's pretty aggressive.